Well, good evening. It's me. I'm back. I'm live in living color, and I hope I have something that you will like and enjoy. Of course, this will be uploaded so you can check it out later, as they would call it, repeat broadcast. I'm going to be talking sports with the A train. All right. And of course, the sports I'm going to be talking, because I'm just enthralled with HBCU sports, HBCU football. You can't help but be enthralled and kind of curious about it, especially when you have someone tooting the horn like a Deion Sanders. And when you have someone like a Deion Sanders that garners attention, then the attention that he garners, he's just going to bring more attention to the HBCU brand. And if you see the headlines, I'm going to get to the SWAC and the MEAC announces players of the week, along with talking about Doc Gamble explained how an injury to a place kicker forced his hand against Alcorn State, and so much more. You know, there was also, we're going to do this too. There was also the which band won the 2021 State Fair Classic halftime show. And you know, when you go to an HBCU game, it's a lot of times, and football teams are trying to change the narrative, but the saying has been when you go to one of those games, it's all about the bands. Now, I spoke of Deion Sanders earlier, and I'm going to get back to it because I have an analogy. I have a theory, so to speak, which may border on the line of controversy. So you want to stick around for that. It's not like I'm on my podcast right now, which is the A Train Sports Talk podcast, which can be heard on several platforms where you hear your get your podcast from. But I have a theory on the Deion Sanders and his name being linked to this job or that job. So I'm gonna get in that. Is basically going to be off script, uncut, raw, unedited. Okay. So, but let's get into the players of the week in the SWAC. As the SWAC announces 4 players of the week. Alcorn State's Harper completed 16 of 32 pass attempts for 368 yards and 3 touchdowns this past week. But was he one of the players of the week? Let's just find out. Of course, we got to get back to the right screen. All right. So the Southwestern Athletic Conference has named Alcorn State's Felix Harper and Kieran Kinsler, along with Texas Southern's Richard Garcia III and Andrew Body, its SWAC football players of the week for their outstanding performances during games played this past week of competition. Offensive, Alcorn State's Harper completed 16 of 32 pass attempts with 368 yards and 3 touchdowns this past week. His performance helped the Braves rally from a 19-point second-half deficit to defeat Arkansas Pine Bluff on the road by a score of 39-38. He also ran for an 11-yard touchdown, capping off a 7-play, 94-yard touchdown drive in the third quarter. Defensive, Alcorn State's Kinsler contributed a game-high 12 tackles, including 8 solo tackles and 2.5 tackles for loss during the Braves' 39-38 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff. He made his presence felt in the turnover column as well, tallying 1 forced fumble along with 1 fumble recovery. Specialist Texas Southern's Garcia went 3 for 3 on extra point attempts, while also connecting on field goal attempts of 45 and 25 yards. He contributed a total of 9 points during Texas Southern's non-conference road outing at Rice. Newcomer Texas Southern's Body passed for 353 yards, going 19 of 35 during his first career start on Saturday at Rice. He would lead TSU rushers with 62 yards on 16 carries while also contributing rushing touchdowns. So those are the players of the week. The MEAC also announced its 4 players of the week. So let's see just who they announced as their players of the week. North Carolina Central wide receiver Ryan McDaniel was named the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference MEAC Football Offensive Player of the Week presented by Coca-Cola. The conference announced today. Howard defensive back Aaron Walker was named Defensive Player of the Week, and Norfolk State running back J.J. Davis was named the Rookie of the Week. Norfolk State's Justin Redd was named Offensive Lineman of the Week, and picking up Specialist of the Week honors was North Carolina Central's Adrian Olivio. McDaniel, a wide receiver, 6'2", 215-pound senior out of Sugar Land, Texas, racked a career-high 178 receiving yards on 9 catches against North Carolina A&T State, including a 77-yard touchdown. His 178 receiving yards are the most for an Eagle in a single game since 2017. Walker, a defensive back, 5'10", 190-pound senior from Washington, D.C., set a new season high in tackles at Robert Morris with 8, including 7 solo stops. Davis, a running back, 5'9", 179-pound redshirt freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, rushed 14 times for 93 yards in the Spartans' 28-16 comeback win over St. Francis, while also recording 23 receiving yards and 34 kickoff return yards for 150 all-purpose yards. Redd, offensive lineman, 6'3", 315-pound redshirt junior from Hampton, Virginia, graded out at 98% against St. Francis, racking up 9 pancake blocks without giving up a sack or committing a penalty. He helped the Spartans rush for 323 yards and amass 422 yards of total offense. Olivio, kicker, 5'10", 160-pound sophomore from Plant City, Florida, hit field goals of 30 and 39 yards against North Carolina A&T State to remain perfect, 6 for 6 on the season. Other top performers, Antoine Murray, Howard had 5 catches for 88 yards against Robert Morris. Juwan Carter, Norfolk State, accounted for 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing against St. Francis. So there you have the players of the week. And we are still rolling right along. However, Doc Gamble had some explaining to do. And we're going to see what it is he had, what his explanation was all about. Doc Gamble explained injury to place kicker forced hand against Alcorn State. Much of the discussion in the immediate aftermath of Alcorn State's 39-38 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff in the game it trailed by 19 points in the second half centered around a pair of what seemed to be peculiar decisions by Golden Lions coach Doc Gamble. It appeared that Arkansas Pine Bluff missed the opportunities to add at least 5 points to its tally in a game it lost by a single point, thanks to failures to convert on a pair of 2-point conversion attempts and passing up a short field goal in the fourth quarter. Gamble explained on Monday that the team was without reliable place kicker by the name of Zach for the second half due to injury. Zach got knocked out of the game, and it hurt us, Gamble said, who reiterated that not having an available kicker was the motivation behind the late game strategy. The only other player on the roster who could possibly kick was punter Josh Sanchez, but he said Gamble wasn't a reliable option. We have to put our players in a position to be successful. If somebody wanted to run Zach out there and kick the PAT or field goal, if you ever watch one of our practices, Zach is 1 for 50 on field goals, the coach said. So I couldn't do him like that. The injury forced Gamble to look elsewhere to fill the role in an emergency role. Tryouts were held on campus, and players from the Golden Lions women's soccer team were evaluated. It's two of them who can kick it pretty good, he said. They actually did place kick in high school. Gamble anticipates Zach should return ahead of the team's Thursday night matchup at Prairie View. So that was an interesting story. You even got the ladies from the soccer team trying out to be a place kicker on the men's American football team. Okay. So let's get on down to this. Let's get on into this. Let's get on in. Who likes good bands? Who doesn't like good? Especially if you happen to go to a black college football game. It is an experience I hear of a lifetime. I have yet to go, but one of these days, soon and very soon, that's on my bucket list. I got to do it. So as y'all are watching this, and if you're not watching it live now, you'll probably catch the repeat broadcast. I will be sharing this link. Please, if there's anyone that's going to a black college football game, hit me up. I want to go with you. Plain and simple. I want to experience that. So, the poll is out. Which band won the 2021 State Fair Classic Halftime Show? Grambling State or Prairie View? Well, let's hear what's being said. Grambling State lost to Prairie View A&M 24-10 in Saturday's State Fair Classic football game at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. The Prairie View win marked the program's fourth consecutive win over GSU. However, for the first time since 2019, the world-famed Grambling State Tiger Marching Band and the Marching Storm of Prairie View A&M had a chance to do battle at halftime. And we're going to hear the sounds of the band.
The following performance is rated to our first female base is 78.